So as you all have probably seen, there's been a change in plans in what we're taking to Texas. Since Billy's having trouble with the S10 and the big block's done up at Bob's, he wants to go ahead and take his Nova. But the nose is still knocked off of it from where he hit the wall in Missouri. So Uncle Bucko went down to Ashcraft Machine and picked up some steel and some supplies to start putting the nose back on it. Meanwhile, back at our shop, Vicky's out there getting ready to do this giveaway on the nitrous kit this morning. She just wasn't too happy about being on camera before she's got her hair fluffed. Now, although the kids are still working to get their cars ready, at this point the Malibu basically just needs a bath and a good detailing. Outside of that, I feel like it's pretty much ready to go. It's a really good feeling to have nice weather and plenty of time to get ready before the next race, when your car's sitting there in one piece without any problems. So I feel like I'm just on easy street with the cruise control set and coasting towards this race down in Texas. Anyway, by the time I got into Jegs, the store was pretty busy. There was quite a few customers in there, and I took a number and waited for my turn to see Uncle Terry. Billy had called ahead and had some parts set out that he needed, and I had taken some measurements off the crank pulley that Billy has on his big block that was damaged during the accident that he had in Missouri. Unfortunately, his pulley didn't have any part numbers, so the only thing I could do was take measurements and call into Terry to see if he could match it up as best he could. So anyway, I picked up the parts at Jegs, and I head back towards Billy's shop to go check in on Uncle Buckwheat and see how well he's coming along, putting the new nose back on the car and making new bumper brackets to mount the factory bumper to the cutoff frame rails that Billy has on his car. Billy's car originally was set up for a fiberglass nose with a tubular core support that was made to come off the car easily and just slide into a couple of pieces of tubing on the front frame rails. So Jeremy's having to basically reconstruct the front frame horns to mount the bumper.
That's right.
On my way down to Billy's, I stopped by my house and picked up June Pup so she could go for a ride with me and go see Uncle Buckwheat.
It's the second smell I've smelled today.
What was the first?
The Mustang pulling up.
No, I didn't have no Mustang.
No, but your son did. And then I hear this rumbly. Huh.
Rumbly?
Yeah.
What would that be?
The only decent truck you own.
Have you gotten anything done?
Slightly.
Let's go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got you the fittings and that hose to replace that missing fuel line as well.
Okay.
And check that pulley and make sure it fits the shaft that you're dealing with. Does it fit?
It seems. Hello? Looks like the same thing.
By my measurements, that pulley's actually 1/4 of an inch smaller outside diameter. So you may need to use a different belt. I don't know. But that's the closest thing I could come to what you had.
That's right inside there. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
So this, I can actually take this.
And then your sensors.
200.
Yep.
There. I'll go ahead and put those in.
Let me see them valve covers, KP. Don't that look so much better?
I don't think we're going to have to use a different belt. We have adjustment.
Good.
Right here.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself this morning?
What are you talking about? I went and got material and welded it up and chopped it up. And what do you think I've been doing?
I don't know.
Ta-da.
Looks like very little.
Here, let me bolt a speed product on it. That way I can say I did something.
Thursday night, Vicki and I had made arrangements to meet Sam with Young and Boosted down in Dayton, Ohio. I had Sam's Young and Boosted canopy at my shop and he needed it back, and I needed a drum of fuel from Brown's Oil Service, which is about 35 minutes from Sam's house. So we met halfway at this Texas Roadhouse to have dinner and swap the canopy for a drum of fuel.
He's got the beachy waves.
Take your hat off.
I want everybody to
Show
know
everyone what you've done.
that perms are cool, okay? Perms are back in style, okay?
I was teasing Sam about getting his hair permed, and the waitress overheard the conversation. She's like, "What?" I feel like everybody kind of figured that Sam maybe lost a bet and he just doesn't want to admit it. Whatever the case, I was thankful that he brought me a drum of fuel, 54 gallons of fresh Ignite Red 114. Just what the doctor ordered this time of year when the E85 from the pump isn't very good, and I'm wanting to turn on both kits down in Texas in my Malibu.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
No problem. You're welcome. Thank you. Especially, thank you guys for dinner, too.
You're very welcome.
So that brings us to Friday morning. It was a cloudy, kind of dreary day, and the rain had come in overnight, soaking everything wet. So the first thing on my mind was getting that fresh drum of 114 red out of the back of the 64 and getting it put away. Uncle Bucko showed up this morning and helped me get it unloaded and moved into the shop. Once we got that taken care of, it was time to start doing a little bit of maintenance and going over everything really close on the Malibu to make sure it's good to go to Texas. We went ahead and drained the oil, changed the filter, and just went over the ignition system real quick and found this problem with the distributor cap and rotor. So clearly another trip back to Jegs was in order to get a new cap and rotor. Any day to go in and see Uncle Terry is a good day, but when you get to see Miss Kimmy as well, that's just an added bonus. Look at this, Uncle Terry.
Lack of maintenance.
I told Terry just to go ahead and give me 2 of those cap and rotor kits, that way I've got a spare in the trailer. While I was in Columbus picking up parts at Jegs, work continues down at Billy's shop on his Nova. They're cutting holes in the fenders for the bullhorn exhaust and also the dumps for the wastegates. Shortly after I left Jegs, Billy called into Uncle Terry and asked if he could drop some parts off on his way home. And Scrappy Doo was quick to meet Terry right as he got out of the car. Let me see you, Terry.
Turn around so you can see. Got your coat, too. Oh, Scrappy.
It's her. How can we be mad at her?
So that brings us to Monday morning. We're now 48 hours from our departure time to head to Texas.
Oh. Burglar system. Trip them and break their neck as soon as they walk through the door. Place is probably freaked out. Somebody's here first thing in the morning.
Buckwheat was in rare form when he got to Billy's shop first thing Monday morning.
Why do we have a puddle of oil under the car?
As Jeremy started sending me videos, I reminded him not to mumble.
Here we have the Nova. I'm yelling so I'm not mumbling. I got the faster bolts in here and the grill faster bolts in there. It's time to fit the bumper. Hopefully I'm not mumbling now. Jack wagon. Wrenches, yes. Missing sockets, Jesus. No mix. Nothing. Oh, wrenches. This seems to be the only standard wrenches in this place, and the one I need is missing. Everything else is metric, but yet we're working on a 71 Nova, which is not metric. What we got in here? Oh, there's a missing ratchet. Oh, miscellaneous. That appears to be electrical of some sort. Hammers. Well, that's some weird looking hammers.
While Jeremy was down at Billy's shop struggling to find tools, I was struggling to come up with an answer as to why the new brakes on Billy's tandem trailer no longer work. And I'm afraid it's the same reason why the triaxle brakes on my big trailer didn't work the last time Jeremy replaced those as well. You know those trailer brakes that Bucko put on my trailer? Mm-hmm. Well, technically it's Billy's trailer.
Yeah.
Before we left for the last trip,
Yeah.
they worked about 60 miles.
Wow.
What do you think happened?
Let's see. Possible over-grease situation.
What exactly did you tell me when I left here with those brakes?
To hide the grease gun.
I immediately asked Jeremy if he had greased those hubs, and he told me he hadn't. So the Spanish Inquisition begun.
Okay, well, William said after 60 miles the brakes stopped working, he said, or at least that's what Billy said.
What?
Yeah, so I started taking a look at it, and one of them has a grease seal.
Oh, that's from the drum. So I suppose you re-greased them.
No, I did, but before I assembled them and tightened the nut down, I pumped 3 pumps into them.
Mm-hmm. That's
and I tightened the nut up.
3 pumps too many there, mister.
No, the hubs were empty. They only had grease on the bearings.
Well, that's the only place you need them.
No.
Yes, it is.
No,
Fill in that cavity.
I can show you from the 70s, trailer greasing trailers. They were supposed to take 2
fingers full of grease and shove it in the middle of the hub. That way when it heats up, it expands out, slides around, and greases the bearings as you go.
And pushes the seal out. All right.
Seals should not push out.
Yeah. All right. So what do you need a back? What did the grease get on the brakes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I crawled under it last night and I found one that's got a little chunk of grease in the bottom.
Okay. Which side is it? Left side or right side?
Let's see. If the trailer is behind me, it'd be on the right-hand side, so passenger side.
Okay. So the right side.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you did grease the shit out of my brakes.
No, I didn't grease.
That's exactly what Mark told me not to let you do when I walked out of the store with them things.
I said hide the grease gun.
And what did you do?
I didn't have them assembled when I pumped 3 pumps of grease in them.
I'm gonna put 3 pumps of something in you here before long. At this point, I guarantee you that trailer's gonna have to have all new brakes put on it all over again. So I brought 4 new backing plates, complete, back to the shop. And Buckwheat has promised as soon as he finishes up the front end on the Nova, he'll be right over to fix the trailer.
Like it never even happened.
Now I've got to hand it to him, he's done a hell of a job putting the sheet metal on the front of Billy's Nova. And now that the front end's all on, the next step is to drive the Nova over to my house and get it ready to load in the trailer so we can head to Texas. That means that the S10 needs to vacate the trailer and go into the lean-to out back. So, I drug it back there as best I could with the lawn tractor and got it put away. As soon as we got the S10 out of the trailer, Vicky started cleaning and organizing and getting things ready for the Nova's arrival, which would have been 10 minutes earlier if not for the fact that Billy and Rob ran out of fuel in the car right around the corner from the house. Thankfully, they were smart enough to bring a 5-gallon jug of fuel, and after topping the fuel cell off, the car fired right back up, and they made it in the driveway, no problem at all. At this point, the only thing left to do on the Nova is put it on the lift, go over everything underneath of it, change the oil, and readjust the valves. So that brings us to Tuesday morning. We're less than 24 hours away from our departure time for Texas, and I still don't have any brakes on the trailer. Buckwheat was late getting here this morning, and he had me pretty aggravated. So instead of standing there and stewing over what he has done, I went ahead and took the Malibu into town and got my hair cut at Great Clips, and I asked Vicky to come out and film whatever he's up to. Now, if you know my brother, you know that he takes no responsibility for any of his mistakes. He always finds something or someone to blame.
Well,
It's called Chinese seals.
Chinese seals. So what do we do now?
Clean them up, put new brakes on, get going.
Are we gonna put 3 pumps back in?
No, I'm gonna run them dry.
Dry? I bet you'll be glad when we're gone, out of your hair.
You have no idea.
Now I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. Part of the reason this channel has done so well is because I pretty much know what's going to happen before it happens. And in this case, I was prepared. Chief told me a few months ago to get one of these piss pot cans for brake cleaner, so I picked that up the same time I bought my brakes. Hey Buckwheat, look what I brought you. See? Look at that. You know why I bought this? I bought it because I knew I was going to need it.
Why? Because you got Kenny Powers, aerosol?
No, because my brother, who robbles, greases the shit out of my brakes every time I have you put brakes on a trailer, and I knew I was going to need it to clean up after you. That's why there's 6 rolls of freaking paper towels in there too. I guess I should have bought a trash can. I didn't think that far ahead. Just when I thought my day couldn't get any worse, Paige the Deuce shows up out of nowhere. Well, look who it is.
She's back!
The old mail lady. She fell and broke her hip.
No, she hurt her knee and she's been off work all winter.
Your fans have missed you.
I know. I'm sure.
She broke her hip. What'd you bring me for lunch?
I didn't really miss you much either.
Oh, she got into your pizza.
After I got run out of the house by my sister-in-law, June Pup and I jumped in the Malibu to run out some of the pump E85 that's in the fuel tank by driving it over to Tommy's house to pick up Tony and Tessa's Mustang, which is stored in Tommy's garage. They're flying into Port Columbus this afternoon, and they're driving down to Texas with us to race at Yellow Belly. So my plan is to go over, get the car uncovered, get it fired up, back it outside and let it warm up, and then drive it over to my house and have Tommy and Allison follow me back in my Malibu. Once I got the car back to my house, I wanted to put it on the lift and find out why this left rear tire has got this terrible groove worn in it. And it turns out it's been rubbing on the quarter panel for some reason. We'll have to deal with that once Tony and Tess gets here later this afternoon. Around 3 o'clock, I jumped in the 64 and headed east towards Columbus to pick up Tony and Tess at the airport. But before I picked them up, I wanted to stop at Jack's Wax and pick up some detailing supplies so that we can clean the cars up once we get down in Texas. I had just enough time to stop at the retail store, which is on 17th Avenue, just a stone's throw away from the airport. Luckily, I had timed this deal just about perfect that by the time I got out of Jack's Wax, it was time to head over to the baggage claim and pick up Tony and Tess. Now, believe it or not, as soon as we got back to my house, they unloaded their luggage, took it in the house, and it was time for them to head out.
We go. We'll see you guys in a few hours. Come back with another Ford product for you.
We hooked Vicky's Suburban to the open trailer, and Tony and Tess set out for Northern Ohio to go pick up a Maverick that they'd found for sale that Tess plans on turning into a small tire race car. Anyways, Tess and Tony were pulling out, the kids were pulling in with the Falcon, and Billy wanted to bring his Nova in the shop to go over it before we leave for Texas. All right, guys, welcome back to the shop. So we're pretty much ready to go. I did some tuning on the Malibu tonight, and it's pretty spicy. I put the 950 carburetor on it because I had it calibrated to run Ignite Red, and the 750 is more calibrated towards pumpy 85 and driving around cruisability is a little bit better with a 750. But anyway, it's sitting here, it's ready to go. It's ready to get loaded on the trailer tomorrow morning. The Falcon's out here in the driveway, it's ready to go. Billy's Nova's already loaded in the big trailer, it's ready to go. And the only thing we've got left to do is the details. All right, Squirrely, you got the details?
I do.
I'm ready.
Good. All right. We're going to Yellow Belly Dragway. It's in Grand Prairie, Texas. It is a 2-day event.
Every time.
2-day event. Friday, spectators can get in at 5 and the racing starts at 7:30. Saturday, spectators can get in at 9.
The racing starts at noon. This is a cash-only facility, so front gate and most of your vendors and all that stuff, you need cash. Okay. There will be food trucks. They're going to have barbecue, taco, hot dog truck, all that stuff, so. Coolers are allowed, no glass. To get in, it's $40 a day or $60 if you go ahead and pay for 2 days. You can camp for 2 days for an extra $50. If you want to get down on the starting line close, it's $100 for 2 days. For
what?
A special... Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Jimmy Dale.
Special starting line access, you need a special pass for that.
How many crew members are allowed to come up with a car?
Listen, I don't know about that.
Details?
Okay.
That's a detail.
If people want specific class details, if they're interested in racing.
This is where she passes the buck.
Yeah, Facebook, go to the Small Tire Gangster, just type that in and search Small Tire Gangster Race. You'll find the event page. It's going to be a good time. I'm flying. I'm getting on an airplane for the very first time.
So Addie was here tonight, and she brought her luggage.
Yes.
And she's riding, and her mom are riding down with you in the plane, and they're going to film your reaction as you fly for the first time.
Yeah.
And hopefully not crash.
Hopefully it's like a beautiful day, no turbulence, because I would like to look out the window and kind of... I think I want to look out the window.
Okay. Are we done with the details?
Listen, we are loaded down with merch. So we have SRC merch, OMG merch, Gen 2 garage stuff.
So much of it you had it shipped direct to the track.
Yeah, we had the majority of it shipped directly to Texas, and then we're bringing some with us too.
And June Pup's coming with me.
No,
What?
puppies are staying here.
No.
Yes, they
Come
are.
on, Vic.
No. And I get home way before you guys do because I fly home. So then.
She's gonna have a panic attack.
No, she's not. Everything's fine. So.
See you in Grand Prairie, Texas.
Yeah.
Yellow Belly Dragway.
This weekend. Bye.
I forgot something.
You always do.
Hey, kids 12 and under are free.
Turn around. He's got the beachy waves.
Take your hat off.
I want everybody to
Show
know
everyone what you've done.
that perms are cool.